everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and today we are continuing on with March Marvel Madness with Iron Man 3. So here we go. Okay, so if I'm correct, this is the first movie in the Phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is the first movie after Avengers, which made a very big splash, and it is seen as the worst Iron Man film. And before I rewatched Iron Man 1, I actually would say that it was the second best, because I really like Iron Man 2. In my opinion, it's a really good movie. If you have not seen that video, please watch that review and I can tell you exactly why I liked Iron Man 2. But if you also watch my Iron Man 1 review, then you know that I actually really enjoy Iron Man 1 now, and I didn't like it at first. I thought it was boring when I first saw it, but now I appreciate it much more. Iron Man 3, people were really down about it, and I don't know why. I really enjoyed it as well. I think that there are parts of it that I didn't enjoy, but there are parts of it that I think are really high highs, if that makes sense. So here's the thing, I liked Act 1 and Act 2 of this movie. I don't really care much for Act 3 in this movie, and I'm not sure if that's where everybody is on this. I don't know if people just generally don't like the entire movie, or I don't really know exactly what that is. I'm interested to find out what you guys think of this movie, actually. I liked Act 1. I think that it shows Iron Man's PTSD from what happened in the Avengers. I mean, he did go up and get sucked into space and then fell almost to his death. And he was fighting all of these aliens, which he didn't really know existed before the Avengers, and he's got into this world of destruction, really, and he's terrified of what's out there. And really, Iron Man 3 is a big movie that gets us into Avengers Age of Ultron, considering, really, I kind of think that Iron Man, Tony Stark, is more of the villain in that movie than Ultron is, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, I really enjoyed seeing that sort of tear him apart in a way. That sounds really bad, but I liked seeing him like that, and being a little bit more self-destructive again, and his relationship with Pepper Potts, played by Gwyneth Paltrow, who, as much as I don't care much for Gwyneth Paltrow, I think she does a fine job as Pepper Potts. I think that her sort of, for lack of a better word, nervousness about him creating all of these suits to protect, is very correct. I mean, we see that in future movies. Anyway, we're not talking about that movie, we're talking about Iron Man 3. I think that, I really like the part where he kind of calls out the Mandarin, who is this figure that has been doing these terrorist attacks all around the country. And what happens is Happy Hogan, played by Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man 1 and 2, now is just a cast member. Shane Black directed Iron Man 3. Happy Hogan gets hurt in one of these attacks. That leads Tony Stark to have his own press conference calling out the Mandarin and saying, "Attack me, come after me, see what you can do." And he does. Someone from his past comes to warn him that the Mandarin is coming, and they blow up his house. Pepper Potts and her and Tony do survive, although they think that Tony is dead because he has his suit fly him off into Tennessee or something like that, where he meets this little 10-year-old cute boy who I think is also the kid from Jurassic Park. The little one, or Jurassic World, I should say. Not Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. Two different movies. Okay, so he meets this kid, and this kid is actually kind of helping him solve this mystery behind who the Mandarin really is and what's up with these terrorist attacks, these explosions. He finds out that it is actually people exploding and not bombs or anything, because what was happening is that the government was really confused because there was no real evidence of bombs or anything that we have typically seen in terrorist attacks. And it makes sense because they were actually humans, like, blowing up. And this brings us to Extremis. This, you know, we started off the movie with that little flashback of Tony Stark being at some party and then embarrassing this guy who wanted to, or he idolized Tony Stark or something like that. And then he actually ends up being the big bad of the whole movie. Of course, that is screenwriting 101. So with the help of this kid, he kind of figures out what's going on. He rebuilds his suit so that way he can fly back to California. Everyone thinks he's dead. He's not dead anymore, so yay. And he finds out where the Mandarin is hiding, and he discovers that the Mandarin is really just an actor, played by Ben Kingsley, who doesn't know what's really going on, even though I can't believe that he doesn't know what's going on. He's just filming these things. And I would have actually liked to see Ben Kingsley as like a legit villain in this movie, just because he's so talented, and it would have been very topical to actually go with something like the Mandarin. Instead of what they did was they used that as a front, and then Iron Man finds out that it's actually that guy that he met years and years ago that has this Extremis that he's putting into people, and he's using veterans who, I believe it's veterans who have disabilities, like they can't walk or they lost a leg, and it is restoring their health in a way, I believe. But he can't figure out why they are blowing up, and so he kind of created this Mandarin and terrorist attack thing to hide the fact that these people are blowing up because of this drug that he puts in them. It's almost like they were trying to, and they could have said this in the movie and I just missed it, replicate the super soldier serum. And then we go into the third act of this movie, which is my least favorite part of the whole movie, which I said earlier in this video, and it's where the bad guy, he kidnaps or abducts, not kid, abducts Pepper Potts, because of course damsel in distress has to be a thing, and I know they're kind of riffing on it because at the end of the movie she's not the damsel in distress and she's really the hero, but still she is the damsel in distress in this moment. It's up to Tony Stark to find them and to help him to try to stabilize the Extremis drug so that way people aren't blowing up, because the bad guy injects Extremis into Pepper Potts, so there's that whole thing. And then he also decides to kidnap the president, and it's basically him and then Rhodey, who is now the Iron Patriot, not the War Machine anymore, who are there, and then they both save their respective Iron Patriot, Rhodey. He saves the president, and Iron Man, Tony Stark, goes for Pepper Potts, of course. They fake kill Pepper Potts. She falls down into this fiery pit. And then there's a whole bunch of Extremis soldiers, basically, that are fighting, and then Iron Man calls upon all of these suits that he has built that are being kind of controlled by Jarvis, which is just a real interesting thing to watch after you've already seen Age of Ultron. And so they kind of sort of save the day, but Tony Stark is still in trouble and he's about to get defeated, and then of course Pepper Potts comes up. She has survived the Extremis drug and she's survived that fiery pit of hell that she fell into, and she kills Killian. That is his name. I've forgotten his name until the very end of this video. Killian is the bad guy. So she kills him, and then everything is saved, and I think what happens is Tony actually destroys all of those suits as a sort of gesture to Pepper Potts, because she didn't like the fact that all these suits were kind of controlled, not really by him, because the whole point is that he's controlling the suit, and he made them sort of this AI type thing, which we all know that the robots are going to destroy us at some point, so really, you think that Tony Stark would have seen at least iRobot, or one of those movies. Iron Man 3 is a fine movie. I don't think it's as low as a lot of people say, and I don't think it's very high necessarily. I think it's probably my least favorite of the Iron Mans. I think it goes in order from 1, 2, and 3. Remember, I still really like Iron Man 2. And also, it's just, I think Iron Man trilogy is harder to live up to the Captain America trilogy, because there's really no weak spot in those ones, in my opinion, but we'll get to that. So what did you guys think of Iron Man 3? Did you like it? Comment down below, tell me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe, so that way you don't miss any more of my reviews of March Marvel Madness. This whole month I am going to be taking all of the MCU movies and reviewing them. So keep up with me by subscribing, and I will see you guys tomorrow.